that the announcements are here. It is always wonderful to be here on a Friday evening, but of course, this Friday evening is especially wonderful because I get to feel not so lonely up here on the Bima because I have Tea Gayoso who is here helping me lead services. And actually, it's really nice for me because I get to kick my heels up and just enjoy the service. She does all the heavy lifting. For those of you who are guests, our Sidur is called Mishkan Tefillah. This is our prayer book. If you're not familiar with the prayer book, the first thing you'll notice is that it opens backwards. It opens from right to left because Hebrew is read from right to left. And all of the traditional blessings, which will make up the bulk of the service, are on the right hand, the even numbered pages, with additional readings that will sometimes show up in our service on the odd numbered pages. If you're not sure, if you lose your place in the book, chances are we're going from one even numbered page to the next. If you don't prefer to use the prayer book, all of our prayers will be displayed on the screen here. And if you do lose your place in the book, all of the page numbers will be listed on the screen as well. So we make it as easy as possible for you to enjoy the service without any distractions. As I said, it is wonderful to have Tea Gayoso here leading us our service as our Erev Bat Mitzvah. She is about to become a Bat Mitzvah. And we are also very happy to have our temple president, Ito Deutsch, who is joining us, and he'll have some announcements a little bit later in the service. But right now, I'm going to turn it over to Tea, who will help us get things started.
Our service begins on page 128. Ine ma tovu manayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Ine ma tovu manayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Ine ma tov shevet ahim gam yachad. Ine ma tov shevet ahim gam yachad. Ine ma tovu manayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Ine ma tovu manayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Please turn to page 120. I now call up Emma and Aunt Lindsay to lead us in the candle blessings. As we Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so when we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of our generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Sorry. I tried really hard.
This is the kind of expertise of leadership.
Bertha Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzvotav, v'tivanu b'chadlek ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Please turn to page 128. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Lahado D is found on pages 138 and 139. We will sing verses 1, 2, 8, and 9. When we reach verse 9, please rise and turn toward the entrance. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Samur vezahor bedibur echad, Hishmianu elcha miuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, Leshem u'tiferet ve'litila. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lehuven elcha, Ki hi mekor abraha, Merosh mikedem nesufa, Sov maaseh b'machshava tehila. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu smol tifrotzi, Ve'et Adonai taritzi, Al yadish bein partzi, Venis mehavenagila. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret fala, Gam besimha uvsohola, Emunei am segula, Boi hala. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lehado di likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated as we turn to page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boahem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Zedhem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Amlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'amad divrach yirtei ve'amlich malhutei, Ve'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'hayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, vimru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam u'al me'amaya, yitbara, yitbara, v'yishtabah, v'yitba'ar, v'yirmad, v'yinaseh, v'yithadar, v'yithaleh, v'yithalal, Shemei Kudisha Brihu, Leila min kol birhata v'shirata, tushbehata v'nemata, Damiram ve'alma, v'imru, amen. Please rise. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch et Adonai, Chamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Chamevorach, Chamevorach, Leolam Vaed. Chamevorach, Chamevorach, Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvi'una meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotehem barakir kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei hoshe, v'hoshe mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gate, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים, אני Adonai Elohechem. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please turn to page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands marching together. Mi chamo habalim Adonai, mi chamo hanedar bakodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Dai 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 dai. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Zeli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai. V'ne'emar ki farah Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad hazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, ga'al Yisrael. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, O God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporech sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Please turn to page 162. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. Observing Shabbat throughout the ages is a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Please rise for the Amidah. Adonai, Sephaif Tifta Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sephaif Tifta Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Anorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוהר שדה אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. Somech noflim verofei holim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afor, mihamo harbal geverot, umido melech, melech memit, umechaye, umatzmiya Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mehayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kodoshim v'chol yom yahalu la'selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated as we turn to page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Please turn to page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'neinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We continue in silent prayer. Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen.
Excuse me. Chuck Feeney is officially broke. It didn't happen overnight. It took a long time and a lot of work. But now he couldn't be happier. Chuck, you see, didn't go broke by mistake or carelessness. Far from it. This moment has been planned for decades. At the time, Chuck Feeney was a multi-billionaire. He made his money as the co-founder of the duty-free shoppers group that you may have seen in international airports and other locations. At once, he was worth over $8 billion. Well, Chuck decided that he couldn't take it with him, so he might as well do some good with it. He pioneered a philosophy of philanthropy that he calls simply giving while living. Over the past 40 years, he has quietly and anonymously given it all away. He established and spearheaded Atlantic Philanthropies, which worked just as doggedly to give money away as he had earning it in the first place. His philanthropy does not have a publicity department, but it is credited with contribution to peace in Ireland, the expansion of Cornell University, his alma mater, and repairing broken healthcare systems in places like Vietnam. He has now sold even his personal home. He lives in a small apartment which is sparsely furnished. When he travels, he flies coach. He doesn't eat much steak or lobster. He doesn't drink the expensive liquors that he made a fortune selling in his duty-free shop. Well, there are a lot of laws in this week's Torah portion about eating and drinking. Shemini is the reading which contains the bulk of what would eventually become the basis for kashrut, Jewish dietary laws. I won't get too much into the specifics. I'll leave that for Taya to teach us about tomorrow. What I do find fascinating is a brief command that appears at the conclusion of this week's reading, following the dietary laws and laws about special limits, about where and how the Kohanim, the priests, are permitted to eat and drink. The command is, V'hayitem kadoshim ki kadosh ani. You shall be holy, for I am holy. It's repeated twice. You shall be holy, for I am holy. Well, here's the thing. How do we know what it means to actually be holy? How are we supposed to fulfill this command? Well, the Ralbag was a medieval French commentator who answers the question. His response is straightforward. God says to us, you shall be holy, and in anticipation of our question, what does it mean to be holy? God answers in the same phrase, I am holy, meaning you should be more like me. Context is everything. There are lots of ways that we can try to be like God. We say in our prayers that God is the ruler of the universe. God is powerful. God is mighty. God's throne is in the heavens. And yet we know that when our biblical ancestors attempted to access or imitate God's power, they failed miserably and were cruelly rewarded. Adam and Eve sought after knowledge and infinite life. The kingdom of Babylonia tried to build a tower up to the heavens. The Israelites in the wilderness constructed a golden calf as an emissary of divine providence when God's chosen emissary, Moses, had been beyond their reach for too long. In each of these cases, each time that the Bible recounts an individual or a civilization attempting to invoke God's power for themselves, disaster strikes. When God instructs us, you shall be holy, you shall be like me, clearly there's more to this command than just imitating God. These chapters of the Torah reflect a limitation of physical appetite. The sons of Aaron are permitted to drink, but may not perform their priestly duties if they're drunk. They may eat from the holy sacrifices and offerings, but only in the place and the manner that God instructs. All of the Israelites must take care to eat only the foods which are permitted to them. We must not consume blindly. We must exercise discretion when it comes to our material wants and needs. The Torah gives us an instruction about our purpose in this world. We are never instructed to refrain from enjoyment. No, on the contrary, we're commanded to celebrate joyously. We're commanded to celebrate together as a community whenever there is a happy occasion, like a bat mitzvah. And we're commanded to celebrate holidays like Shabbat. Happy Shabbat. However, when we try to accumulate without limit, or when we exert our power and influence in order to control others and only better our power in the ways that God's power manifests. Yes, God is powerful, of course, but God is also disciplined and restrained. God does not consume the world, does not destroy the world, does not take from the world needlessly or recklessly or with abandon. Can we always say the same of ourselves? God has given us a mission. Our objective is to be holy. Our purpose is to be more like God. The Ralbag goes on to say in his commentary exactly the way in which we should strive to be more godly. He writes that one of God's defining features is that God is immaterial. God is neither bound to the physical plane of existence nor attached to the material objects in it. In order to be holy, we are therefore tasked with transcending the physical world and our superficial desires. V'yitem kedoshim ki kadosh ani. Be holy. Transcend the physical world and release yourselves from the bonds of material consumption. Focus your achievements on the intangible. Measure your success through the goodness you do and the wisdom you achieve. Be holy. For this purpose you were created. Be holy as God is holy. Shabbat Shalom. We take a moment at this time in our service to say a prayer of healing for all of those in our community who are in need of healing. If there is anyone that you are remembering for healing at this time, you may hold their name in your heart or say it aloud when I indicate towards you. As a community, we pray for the healing of Tal Hazon, Jacob Hazon, Mayor Ben Esther, James Dutremaine, Yolanda Easley, Oscar Garcia, Yosef Ben Matilda, Caleb Ben Yaakov Micha, Robert Berlin, Victoria Fishman, Tchoni Bat Malka, Alan Fishman, Ilan Ben Tchoni, Devorah Lea Bat Sipa, Jeff Gabriel, Pat Blum, Conchis Espino, Mike Ginsberg, Norma Einhorn, Eliana Bat Sarava Avraham, Patty Landsman, Neshama Bat Sarava Avraham, Ali Temkin, Judy Franklin, Stuart Klein, and Rita Schaefer. At this time, you may add names of your own to this list as I indicate towards you, either saying them aloud or posting them in the chat. And all those who we name in our hearts, whose names God hears. If there are names that you know of that should be added to this list for our public prayers and included in our prayers of healing each week, please let me know or let Maria know during the week so that we can add them to this list. Now please join me on page 371 with the Mishaberach Lecholi. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May healing come swiftly and soon to all those who are in need of healing, as we say together, Amen. Our service continues once again with Taya taking the lead.
Wait, okay. Our service continues at the bottom of page 586 and continues on page 588. Please rise. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שכנותיה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקבעו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אנוש, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, ועדת היום והשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אנוש. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Please be seated.
I'm reading on page 595. There are stars up above, so far away that we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this time in particular, we remember those of our community who have been laid to rest in recent days, including Tanya Redondo, who we are in a period of Shiva. We also remember all those who have died within the past year, including Antonio Diaz, Leon Wernick, Myrna Levine, Charlene Hertz, Sergey Bernier, Eugenio Colon, Norma Rabinovich, Shendel Bat Avram Bafegi, Rodrigo Diaz, John Brown, Dora Goldberg Friedman, Tzipora Bat Abraham, Lionel Getz, Labesh Yuda Ben Pinchas, Lenora Nodi, Pearson Gent, and Dr. Marco Antonio Treu Ruiz Seco. In addition to these names, if there are those who are dear in your heart at this time, I ask you to please rise and say the name of the person you are remembering as I indicate towards you. And remain standing. As a community, we rise with you. And we continue on page 598 with the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach Yehuteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'elam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar V'yitalev V'yithalal Shemei Dekudesha B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Kush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiram be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. We do have a few announcements this evening. I'll ask Ito, you can either say them from right there or you can come over here. Please be seated.
Is it on? First of all, we want to wish a mazel tov to Taya Gayosa. Excellent job. Spectacular. You better be careful, Rabbi. She might take your job. And we also want to say what a great job you've done with all your hard work and preparation for becoming a bat mitzvah. Taya is leading the service this evening for the Friday evening services and Saturday morning service. Out of respect to the family and due to limited seating space in the temple building, we encourage all celebrants to join these services by Zoom if possible. I know this is repetitive, but we need to keep repeating it just so everybody remembers these things. But we all have responsibility under Jewish law to protect one another. With this in mind, if you are planning to attend services in person, please keep the following in mind. Anyone experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19 should continue attending services online. Wearing a mask covering your nose and mouth is required at all times while in the building. Although we are all eager to spend time with one another, social distancing is required at all times. No lingering will be permitted either before or after services in the sanctuary or foyer. Children must remain with parents at all times. Although Rabbi Farb wishes to spend time with you all on Shabbat, it is not possible at this time. He is, however, available for individual appointments on weekdays and evenings. Please replace prayer books, kippah, and talat at the table outside the door for cleaning. Please follow all posted guidelines and announcements. And really just using common sense. We can all take care of each other that way. Upcoming events at Temple Emanuel. There will be no Torah study group this Shabbat in preparation for the Bat Mitzvah service. Saturday morning service, 10:30 a.m. by Zoom, Facebook Live, or YouTube, or in person in the sanctuary. All services are followed by an oneg social on Zoom to spend time together as a community. Welcome back. Sunday school and high school programs will resume this week. Check with your teachers for messages and updates. Introduction to Judaism this week. Israeli holidays and practice. Live on Zoom Sundays at 5 p.m. Join Rabbi Farb for this month's lunch and learn. Achieving spiritual perfection. Counting the Omer. Develop your spiritual side using this daily guide for personal reflection throughout the 7 weeks of the Omer. Monday, April 12th at noon. Save the date. Temple Emanuel is partnering with the City of McAllen to offer a special evening in honor of Yom HaShoah this year. The event will be held virtually and in person, Wednesday, April 21st, 6:30 p.m. at the McAllen Performing Arts Center. Birthdays and simchas. Happy birthday to David Rosenberg on Sunday, April 4th, James Dudermain on Friday, April 9th, Carla Ramirez on April 4th, Larry Fallick on April 9th, Mary Lou Temkin on April 8th. And happy anniversary to Danny and Stephanie Gerwitz on April 4th. and also Benjamin and Victoria Feisman on April 8th. If you know of any simchas in the community, such as births, new homes, promotions, or awards, please contact the temple office or Rabbi Farb so that we can celebrate the blessing together. Shabbat Shalom, and congratulations.
To lead our closing song with me, Adon Olam, on page 625.
It's been a while.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa v'hefso kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei yitlot hakol levado yimloch nora vehu haya vehu hoveh Vehu yeh betifara, vehu echad ve'ein sheni. Lehamshil lo lehabira, beli reshit, beli tachlit, velo ha'oz ve'hamisra, vehu eli, v'hai goali, ve'tur hevli be'etzara, Vehu nisi umanosli, menat kosi beyom ekra beyado afkid ruhi. Beit ishan v'ha'ira, v'imruhi geviati, Adonai li velo ira. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Tessa, and thank you, Taya, for leading such a beautiful service this evening. Before you, thank you, Tessa, and thank you, Taya. Thank you, Taya, for leading such a beautiful service this evening. I know we are all excited for you to lead us once again in prayer in the morning. The good news is you've already done the hard part. Now you know you've got a whole service under your belt. Tomorrow's going to be easy, right? She said, totally. More on that tomorrow. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate this day. Special blessings to all of those who are celebrating birthdays, as Ito mentioned. Special blessings to those. We've got two different couples who celebrated a anniversary this week that are here in part or in whole. Have a year of many blessings ahead for both couples. I hope that this coming year is the best year so far in those blessed unions. I'll ask that everyone who is here please remain seated so that Taya and her family can go out directly into the parking lot, make their way out of the building. And then once they've left the building, I'll let you know it's all right to rise and follow them out. Shabbat Shalom.
I have the mic on, man.